Welcome to the video, guys. Today, I'm beginning a deep dive into the careers of every single actor in the Harry Potter movies. Coming up, Goyle starts an MMA career, Mr. Bean gives a Hogwarts student a haircut, and one of the actors who donned the red cape of Superman goes on to play a Gringotts goblin.
What?
I have now confused the hell out of all of you. Please keep watching, it will all make sense in time. This is every actor in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone and where you know them from. Let's go. So let's start with Albus Percival Wulfric Brian Dumbledore himself, who in the first two Harry Potter films is portrayed by the late Irish actor Richard Harris. Harris had a hell of an acting career, with 2 Academy Award nominations under his belt for his roles in 1963's This Sporting Life and the 1990 drama The Field.
Gone, but not forgotten, Flanagan. No outsider will bid for my field.
But Harris had singing chops too, most notably portraying King Richard in the 1967 musical Camelot.
For haply ever aftering than here in Camelot.
Dumbledore's got style.
Yeah, Dumbledore's singing talent served him well, for Harris went on to record several albums, his most successful song being the 7-minute orchestral pop number MacArthur Park, which sold over 1 million copies and peaked at number 2 on the American Billboard Hot 100.
And I'll never have that recipe again.
Todd in the Shadows, if you're watching, I think I found a great candidate for a one-hit Wonderland episode. Also worth noting some of Harris's family members who went on to have notable acting careers themselves, like his son Jamie, who acted in stuff like Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and his son Jared, notable for his roles in Mad Men, and his starring role in the HBO series Chernobyl.
Good evening, Professor Dumbledore.
We sure as hell are starting with actors with rather expansive careers this time, huh? Professor Mcgonagall is, of course, played by Dame Maggie Smith, an English actress with a cajillion roles to her name. She got her start on stage, but she made her on-screen debut back in 1958 in the British crime film Nowhere to Go.
He got up from his table and asked if I could give him a light. I thought he was trying to pick me up. I told him he could go to hell, but I can't remember my exact words.
She then went on to win a ton of awards for her roles in films like A Room with a View, a 1965 adaptation of Othello, though that one hasn't aged too well for obvious reasons, and her Academy Award-winning performance in the prime of Miss Jean Brodie, to name but a crippling few.
Little girls, I am in the business of putting old heads on young shoulders, and all my pupils are the creme de la creme.
Nowadays, Smith is probably best known for Downton Abbey, and like Richard Harris, her sons went into acting as well, such as actor Toby Stephens, who you might know from the TV series Black Sails and the Bond film Die Another Day. Yeah, Gustav Graves is Maggie Smith's son. Do you want me to continue blowing your mind?
Of course I want to bloody continue!
Oh, like the video then, it helps.
Professor Dumbledore, sir. Professor Mcgonagall.
Scottish actor Robbie Coltrane plays the half-giant Rubeus Hagrid. Coltrane came to prominence in the 80s, collaborating with many British actors like Hugh Laurie, Stephen Fry, and Emma Thompson in comedy shows like Tutti Frutti and Al Fresco.
Anybody want a drink?
Drink! I love it! Oh, it always gets me, that joke, the way you pretend this is a real pub. Drink, you must be joking! Oh dear, actually.
He then went on to have a starring role in the crime drama series Cracker, of which he won the BAFTA for Best Television Actor 3 frickin' years in a row for.
And when you've studied, when you've shed a little light on the dark recesses of your soul, that is the time to pick up a book.
But Coltrane has dabbled in many film roles too, doing occasional voice acting work sometimes, like here in Pixar's Brave.
With one arm, he was steering the ship, and with the other, he held his mighty sword and struck down the whole attacking fleet.
And you also might know him from the Bond films GoldenEye and The World Is Not Enough.
Can't you just say hello like a normal person?
Also, fun fact, Coltrane is only just over 6 feet tall, which means Hagrid is barely taller than I am. So to combat this, a lot of low-angle shots and padding were used to achieve the look of the half-giant. But for many shots, that could only do so much, so they brought in a double, and that was the 6 foot 10 inch tall Martin Bayfield, who got padded up like crazy, and in some shots, even wore an animatronic Hagrid head.
We went animatronic with the face. We go eye movement, mouth movement.
That is unbelievable.
And Bayfield himself was most notable for his rugby union career, with 31 caps for the England national team.
Look at the height of this man, Martin Bayfield, 2 meters 12, that's 6 foot 10 inches in the old measurements.
I feel incredibly sorry for whoever had to face off against this behemoth on the pitch.
Good luck, Harry Potter.
So not much is known about who plays baby Harry, other than that 3 different babies played him, and they all happen to be triplets, with the last name Saunders, and one of them was a girl apparently.
You're a woman, Harry.
Now!
Aunt Petunia is played by Irish actress Fiona Shaw. Shaw worked extensively with the Royal Shakespeare Company and National Theatre, before moving on to television and film roles. One of her first on-screen appearances was in an episode of the 1984 television series The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
Very well. I shall break my promise of silence if what I can say can really help her.
I'm sure Shaw would want me to choose another role to show you here, but she had a part in the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
You have your mother's eyes.
No. I think you're supposed to tell your nephew that, Petunia.
You have my mother's eyes.
But her acting career after Harry Potter has been very fruitful, with appearances in many critically acclaimed television series like Fleabag and Killing Eve, the latter of which she won a BAFTA for.
How do you always look so good? I mean, do you even sleep?
It's my moisturizer. It's made of pig's placenta. Costs a fortune, smells like arse, but it is exceedingly effective.
And if you've ever wondered what Aunt Petunia would look like if she had magical abilities herself, just watch her in True Blood.
Ludite illam in carcerem flamerum. Certere in carcerem!
Wake up, cousin! We're going to the zoo!
Dudley Dursley is played by English actor Harry Melling. Yeah, Dudley's real name is Harry, ironically enough. Now, Melling has had a great acting career after Harry Potter. Here he is in the 2018 western The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair.
But his most famous role has got to be his performance in the mega successful Netflix series The Queen's Gambit.
Do you see it now? Or should we finish this on the board?
Son of a bitch.
Any funny business, any at all, and you won't have any meals for a week.
The late English actor Richard Griffiths plays Uncle Vernon. Griffiths was a prominent stage actor, most famous for his award-winning role in the stage play The History Boys, and he went on to reprise that role in a 2006 film adaptation.
A.E. Houseman, sir.
Wasn't he a Nancy, sir?
Foul, festering, grubby-minded little trollop. Do not use that word.
But you use it, sir.
I do, sir, I know, but I am far gone in age and decrepitude.
Another notable stage role he did was in the 2007 West End production of Equus. That was the one where Daniel Radcliffe was naked with the horse. I'm sure that's now ringing a bell for a lot of you.
A horse can add its sufferings together, the non-stop jerks and jabs that are its daily life, and turn them into grief.
And Griffith's film career was very extensive, with appearances in Superman 2, With Nail and I, and Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, amongst many, many more movies. But my personal favourite of his roles was definitely that of Dr. Albert S. Meinheimer in The Naked Gun 2.5.
As he thrust his purple-headed warrior into her quivering mound of love pudding.
Sorry about him.
He doesn't understand what it's like, lying there day after day.
Okay, the boy who lived himself. Harry Potter is, of course, played by English actor Daniel Radcliffe. Now to start, did Radcliffe do anything before Harry Potter? Yes, he did. His very first role was that of a young David Copperfield. Not to be confused with the magician. Yeah, I was a bit disappointed when I found that out. I wanted to blow all your minds there, telling you that Harry Potter was only the second magician Daniel Radcliffe played. But no, this was a 1999 television adaptation of the Charles Dickens book, who magician David Copperfield got his stage name from.
I'm to stay here as long as I'm at school.
Indeed. Then I should think that you would come into the business at last.
What I should most like to do is write stories one day.
But this show did happen to star many of Radcliffe's future Hogwarts professors, like Maggie Smith, Zoe Wanamaker, and Umbridge herself, Imelda Staunton.
God bless you. I never will forget you.
That is so weird seeing Umbridge be nice to Harry, isn't it? Daniel also had a part in another film the same year Philosopher's Stone came out, that being The Tale of Panama, which starred actors like Geoffrey Rush, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Pierce Brosnan.
What happened to your diet, Mum?
I'm in denial.
What's denial?
A very big river in Africa.
Boom.
Thank you.
Now, after Harry Potter, Radcliffe has had a hell of a career. He's dabbled in many stage productions, like here in a Broadway revival of the musical How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying.
A noble tie that binds all human hearts and minds into one brotherhood of man.
In 2014, he had a truly viral moment on YouTube when he performed the rap song Alphabet Aerobics on Jimmy Fallon.
Yellowback, yak mouth, young one's yours. Yesterday, zonzo, cells are yawns. Zigzag zombies, zooming to the zenith. Zero and zen, thoughts overzealous from Zealous.
And he's had more film and television roles than I can count. He's done everything from playing a rotten corpse in Swiss Army Man to going absolutely all out in the comedy series Miracle Workers.
She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. When she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. When she comes.
That is a boy who's lived alright.
Bless my soul. It's Harry Potter.
Tom, the innkeeper of the Leaky Cauldron, is played by the late English actor Derek Deadman. Please avoid the obvious joke in the comments. Derek here had minor roles in a bunch of British productions, his most famous one probably being the character of Ringo in the 80s British sitcom Never the Twain.
You better list what's missing.
Well, how can I? It isn't here.
He also plays this Sontaran commander in the Doctor Who serial The Invasion of Time.
The president is to be apprehended. Kill those with him, but take the president alive.
And here he is in an old SodaStream commercial I found.
The Minerva stream to get busy with the busy SodaStream.
How oddly fitting for a future barman.
Doris Crockford, Mr. Potter. I can't believe I'm meeting you at last.
So this casting info is not 100% certain, as the only source that credits the actress who plays Doris Crockford is some random German dubbing site. So take this with a grain of salt. But according to that site, Crockford is played by British-Australian actress Nina Young, who also portrayed the Grey Lady Ghost in the first two Potter films, seen most prominently in this Chamber of Secrets deleted scene.
Do you mind?
The Grey Lady, also known as Helena Ravenclaw, has a much bigger role in Deathly Hallows Part 2, but there she's played by a different actress. But as for Nina Young, she had some bit roles in lots of different movies. Here she is in Tomorrow Never Dies, and this is her in Johnny English.
And this is your level 9 security clearance. Sign and date, please.
Completely innocent to the untrained eye, but click it twice.
Harry Potter, can't tell you how pleased I am to meet you.
Professor Quirrell is played by English actor Ian Hart. Now Hart's breakout role had him portray one of the Beatles, that being John Lennon. He played him in several movies actually, most notably in the 1994 film Backbeat.
Right, we're gonna do a little request. Stu is gonna sing us a song.
Now, we don't normally do requests, but it's Stu's request and we don't let him do it. He'll only wet the bed. So...
He then went on to appear in a bunch of television shows, like The Last Kingdom and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's what I'm doing. I promise. Making things right.
And here he is in the 2020 film Escape from Pretoria. And look who he happens to reunite with.
Don't sit there. We are segregated, my friend. They wear blue shirts for a reason. Unless you want to sit next to a murderer.
No, this is good.
But I got to highlight one particular role Hart did in 2011 that I think he was a tad miscast for. You see, casting a man from Liverpool to play John Lennon makes perfect sense. Casting a man from Liverpool to play Adolf fucking Hitler?
Yes. That absolute obedience is what I demand.
Don't know about that one.
And does Mr. Harry Potter have his key?
Okay, so Harry Potter fans might be under the impression that this is the character of Griphook. It isn't. This is an unnamed goblin simply credited as a goblin bank teller, and he's played by Warwick Davis, who you'll know as the Ewok Wicket in Return of the Jedi, and for his titular roles in the films Leprechaun and Willow.
You need a warrior for a job like this. I'm a nobody.
And he goes on to play Professor Flitwick later on in this film and the subsequent Potter sequels.
Key, please.
Okay, so the character of the aforementioned Griphook is played in the later Potter films by Warwick Davis, but Griphook technically does appear in the Philosopher's Stone, and this goblin is him. Yeah, I can sense the confusion because this would appear to be some kind of early version of him that got a redesign for later films. And to add to the confusion, Warwick Davis only voices him here. The guy you see in the flesh is actually another very well-known shorter stature celebrity. I'm sure many of you will have heard of Vern Troyer. Yeah, this is Mini-Me himself. Now, Vern is sadly no longer with us, but he had a very interesting career, appearing in many movies like The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus and Jingle All the Way. He made several music video appearances with artists like Moby and Ludacris. A lot of people might know him from his stint on Big Brother, and more recently he had started his own YouTube channel, racking over 1 million subscribers.
Peace.
Now before I continue, I want to highlight some of the other actors who play goblins here. I'm unfortunately unable to pinpoint who is who exactly, but there's some famous names amongst them you might recognise, like English actor Mike Edmonds, who played the Ewok Logray in Return of the Jedi, and famously made an appearance in the music video for Men Without Hats, Safety Dance.
'Cause your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, well, they're no friends of mine.
You can dance. You can dance, everybody look at your pants. Then there's actor Rusty Goff, who you might recognise as this Oompa Loompa in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Doompa-dee-da, if you're not spoiled, then you will go far.
Goff goes on to have a more prominent role in Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Madame Lestrange.
Another goblin was played by Scottish actor Jimmy V, known for playing a number of monsters and aliens in Doctor Who, and for being the man inside R2-D2, taking over after Kenny Baker sadly passed away. And finally, another one of the goblins is played by Kenyan actor Kieran Shah, who holds the Guinness World Record for the shortest stuntman in the world. You might know him as the kid who delivered those poisoned dates to Indiana Jones. He also doubled for many of the Hobbits in The Lord of the Rings. And you'll never believe this, he doubled for Christopher Reeves in Superman.
I'm the original stunt double for Christopher Reeves in his first and second Superman movie.
Yeah, I know what you're all thinking. Apparently it has something to do with perspective in filming shots where Superman is far away from the camera.
I wondered when I'd be seeing you, Mr. Potter.
Here we have another legendary English actor. This is the late John Hurt, playing the wand shop owner, Ollivander. Fun fact about Hurt, he holds the record for the most on-screen deaths in movies, dying over 40 times across his career. Yeah, you'd think that honour would go to Sean Bean, but No, he's got some catching up to do. Now, Hart's breakout role was back in 1966 in the historical British drama A Man for All Seasons.
He said, Parliament had not the competence. Or words to that effect.
Then Hurt went on to act in a boatload of stuff. The Elephant Man, 1984, Doctor Who, and did you know that he once portrayed Aragorn? Yeah, he voices him in Ralph Bakshi's version of Lord of the Rings.
My name is Aragorn, son of Arathorn. If by life or death I can save you, I will.
But his most famous role today has got to be Kane from Alien, who Hurt went on to reprise in a scene in Spaceballs.
Oh no, not again.
Happy birthday!
Anyone want to hear about animal actors in this series? Well, Hedwig in these films was played by several different owls, but the one used most was called Gizmo. And all the owls used were male owls, which is weird because Hedwig is canonically female. Apparently female snowy owls have dark markings and aren't as white, plus they're heavier, hence why they didn't use any. Now, it's not known where all the owls went after filming the movies, but with a 35-year lifespan in captivity, many are around and kicking. One of them apparently calls the Tama Zoological Park his home, which is found in Tokyo of all places.
Can you tell me where I might find platform 9 3/4?
9 3/4? Think you're being funny, do ya?
So the station guard here is played by English actor Harry Taylor. Now when it comes to movies, Taylor usually works as a chauffeur for various Hollywood VIPs. In The Philosopher's Stone, for example, he was Chris Columbus's personal driver. And it was through this link he had to the director he met the director's kids. And Columbus's children must have taken quite a liking to him, for when the time came to cast the role of the station guard, Columbus's kids demanded that their dad cast Taylor for the role. Now after Potter, Taylor went on to drive for actors like Robert De Niro and, more notably, Helena Bonham Carter. And Taylor usually ends up with brief cameos in the films he helped drive Carter to set on. Here he is in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, this is him in Alice in Wonderland, and in Sweeney Todd, they used a photo of him to portray the ex-husband of Carter's character.
Reminds me of my dear Albert. Like to gorge himself to bloatation, he did.
Now all you've got to do is walk straight at the wall between platforms 9 and 10.
English actress Julie Walters plays Molly Weasley. Yet another British star with a phenomenal career I am now going to have to hilariously digest. Walters came to international prominence in 1983 for her role in the British comedy drama Educating Rita, starring alongside Michael Caine, for which the two won Best Actor and Actress at the BAFTAs that year.
You know, like when I'm in the hairdressers where I work, I'll say something like, oh, I'm really fucked, dead loud, and it doesn't half cause a fuss.
But in the UK, she was very well known for her many collaborations with comedian Victoria Wood.
Our next doors had sex again last night.
Not again.
I mean, I like a joke, but that's twice this month.
And amongst her many film roles are Billy Elliot, Paddington, Mamma Mia, and like Coltrane, she was also in Brave, playing a witch once again, albeit a much crazier one.
Wood cannot be imbued with magical properties. I should know. I'm a wee whittler of wood.
I'm only joking. I am Fred.
So Fred and George are played by real-life twins, James and Oliver Phelps. The two remain to this day pretty inseparable. These days they're hosting their own podcast called Normal Not Normal, of which you can watch right here on YouTube.
So in this series we're talking to friends, personal heroes and colleagues of ours to find out what their version of normal is and to ask, does normal even exist?
And quite recently, the two appeared briefly in the Edgar Wright movie Last Night in Soho. They were used quite cleverly in a scene with a mirror, doubling each other as cloakroom attendants, whilst actresses Anya Taylor-Joy and Thomasin McKenzie swap places. It's very well done.
And are we meeting a gentleman this evening?
We are not.
Oh, so Madame is alone?
I am.
Very good.
Best do it at a bit of a run if you're nervous.
Good luck.
With all but one line in this film, Ginny is played by Bonnie Wright. And I don't think anyone else in this movie has had quite the diverse post-Harry Potter career as Bonnie has, for she's dabbled in lots of different fields. Firstly, she continues to act. In 2004, she starred in a BBC docudrama portraying a young Agatha Christie.
My parents were converted to the view that the best way to bring up girls was to let them run wild as much as possible.
In 2013, she made her stage debut in a revival of the satire comedy drama The Moment of Truth, and she's now appearing in a lot more independent productions, like this oddity, a 2015 British comedy mystery film called Who Killed Nelson Nutmeg, about a summer camp mascot that gets murdered. Wright also did a lot of modelling work, and in 2012 she found her own production company called Bon Bon Lumiere. Her debut was a short film she directed and wrote called Separate We Come, Separate We Go, and it starred Bonnie's future Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, Professor Lupin, David Thewlis.
I can't be anywhere, this is it.
Yeah, but you wanted to come here, you chose to come here, and so you came, so what's next?
She's also directed many music videos, including this one for a song called Iguana Bird, sung by Petunia, and you'll never guess this, Scarlett Johansson.
Do you like how you're living your life away from me?
It's bizarre to me that the highest earning and most well-known actress of today has a music career barely anybody knows about. But back to Bonnie, and very recently she started her own YouTube channel called Go Gently, which acts as a sort of continuation of her similarly titled book about how to live life more sustainably.
So thank you again, and good night from me.
I'm Ron, by the way. Ron Weasley.
Okay, here we go with number 2 of the famous trio. Ron Weasley is played by English actor Rupert Grint, who has had a diverse acting career. In between Philosopher's Stone and Chamber of Secrets, he starred as a child prodigy by the name of Alan A. Allen, in a film about one kid's ability to use his own flatulence to lift him into outer space.
Thunderpants.
In 2006, he reunited with his on-screen mum, Julie Walters, in the comedy drama Driving Lessons.
Well, how old are you?
17 and a half.
So young and so pedantic.
And he's acted in a ton of stuff since, like 2015's Moonwalkers, a film about those fake moon landing conspiracies, and more recently Grint starred in the M. Night Shyamalan produced psychological thriller series, Servant.
What if she never comes back? Can't take a doll to soccer practice, Sean.
Also, it's worth noting Grint's semi-music career. He starred in a few music videos, most notably appearing in the one for Ed Sheeran's Lego House. But in 2014, he voiced the character in the Postman Pat movie, who gets up on stage to sing a pop song in front of Simon Cowell. And this is not another actor dubbing him here. This is Rupert Grint's actual singing voice, albeit auto-tuned a bit.
You think you got it figured out, oh, but you don't wanna get struck by lightning. There you go. Struck by lightning, you can't fight it.
Uh-oh. Ooh. This song has unironically been stuck in my head for days now. Damn you, Rupert Grint!
This is Scabbers, by the way. Pathetic, isn't he?
So Scabbers was apparently played by 12 different rats. I repeat, 12. But the main one used was called Dex.
Hello, Dex.
Though likely due to how skittish rats are, a mechanical double was used for a lot of the wide shots.
Anything off the trolley, dears?
So English actress Jean Southern plays the food trolley lady, oddly credited as Dimpled Woman on Train. Okay. Now Southern mostly sticks to the small screen, with bit roles like here in one of Catherine Cookson's television adaptations, The Glass Virgin.
Madam, the master says he will join you at supper.
Thank you, Mrs. Page. Has Annabella behaved herself?
Oh, yes, madam, of course. She's about to take her bath.
And her most recent role was in an episode of the popular British crime drama, Vera.
He went in as one child and came out another. They all suffered in there, but it hit him harder than the others.
I'm Hermione Granger. And you are?
Ron Weasley.
Pleasure.
And to complete the trio, Hermione is, of course, played by Paris-born English actress Emma Watson. Emma went on to have a thriving acting career, with appearances in films like The Bling Ring, Noah, Little Women, and of course the live-action remake of Beauty and the Beast, where she apparently pocketed a cool $15 million for her efforts. Nice.
There goes the baker with his tray, like always. The same old bread and rolls to sell.
She also gave voice acting a go once in 2008's Tale of Despereaux.
You're a smooth little mouse, aren't you? Bet you tell that to all the princesses.
She wasn't as nice to the last rat she met.
That's rich, coming from the owner of that smelly old shoe brush.
And outside of acting, she, like Bonnie Wright, gave modelling a go, and has been an outspoken supporter for women's rights, even delivering an address about it at the UN.
Men and women should have equal rights and opportunities.
Trevor!
My fellow Yorkshireman Matthew Lewis plays Neville Longbottom. Now, Lewis had acted prior to Harry Potter. In fact, he made his on-screen debut a full 6 years earlier, in the 1995 ITV drama called Some Kind of Life.
You having a party? Can I come?
You're too big.
He also briefly appeared in an episode of the period drama Heartbeat.
It's the truth, Mr. Greengrass. Look, it's got muck on it.
Now, after Harry Potter, Lewis appeared in a ton of stuff, with roles in many British television series like Happy Valley, Ripper Street, and All Creatures Great and Small.
Who's this?
James Herriot, Siegfried's new assistant.
Oh, Hugh Halton. Pleasure.
And he's made some more movie appearances too, such as the Taika Waititi-produced New Zealand comedy Baby Done, and in 2015 he acted alongside Daenerys herself, Emilia Clarke, in Me Before You.
Are you really saying that you'd stick around with me if I was paralysed from the neck down?
Of course I would.
Well, I don't want someone to stay with me out of pity. What? I mean, strangers wipe your ass, Jesus.
And that same year, he had a bit of a viral moment when he posed in his Grundies for Attitude magazine. Neville got jacked. What a world we live in. But before I go on, I should mention Neville's grandmother, who is seen incredibly briefly as Harry moves on to platform 9 3/4. She is played by English actress Leela Hoffman. This is her in an episode of Doctor Who.
Let's see your face.
The Longbottom family can't catch a break, it would seem.
It's true then, what they're saying on the train. Harry Potter has come to Hogwarts.
One Thomas Andrew Felton plays Draco Malfoy. Felton got his acting start before Harry Potter 2, appearing in films like Anna and the King and the 1997 comedy The Borrowers.
Me and Dad have had it up to here with your behaviour.
Oh, shut up, squirt.
Ugly.
Smelly.
Double smelly.
Oh, stop it, you two.
After Potter, Felton went on to appear in dozens of films and shows, like Rise of the Planet of the Apes, the biblical drama Risen, and he also had a role in a season of CW's The Flash.
This is still our lab, unfortunately. Yes, County forgot to mention that significant detail before assigning me, but here we are.
Now, outside of acting, Felton has recorded several audiobooks of novels by authors such as Roald Dahl, and here he is reading one of Tom Fletcher's books, Fletcher being best known for his lead vocals in the band McFly.
This morning I packed the last of my Zack Danger books into the last flimsy cardboard box and said goodbye to my bedroom in Greyville.
And Felton is an avid singer/guitar player himself. Here's a song of his called If You Could Be Anywhere.
If I could be anywhere, I guess I'd be there with you, girl.
This is Crab and Goyle.
So Crab and Goyle are played by Jamie Waylett and Josh Herdman. Let's start with Goyle. Herdman went on to act in a few more shows and films. Like Rupert Grint, he also starred in Thunderpants, where he gets downright murdered.
That
That was the best day of my life.
But in 2016, he made his debut as an MMA fighter.
Big time, and then lands another bomb with the right hand, alternating left and right hooks.
What's with this show and me finding out about secret MMA careers?
From the blue corner, Josh Herdman!
Good one, girl.
But let's now turn to a more tragic story with Crab. And a lot of you might have noticed that actor Jamie Waylett doesn't show up in the later films. That was because in 2009, he was found to be in possession of 8 bags of the old wacky backy, of which he was growing in his mum's house. And as such, he got sentenced to 120 hours of community service, and the film's producers dropped him from the films.
He's let himself down hugely, really, and it's a disappointment for him and the franchise, really, so just disappointment, really.
Now, it would seem like he had found a different calling. At one point, he fancied himself a bit of an MC, performing under the stage name Bully.
Colt 45, sawn off some Mac 10s. It gets scully when you're fucking with my mad men. I wouldn't lie to you cause I got a bad temp. People blame it on my grave because it's mad leg.
But then it all went to shit for him. Again. Because he then took part in the 2011 England riots, and got accused of looting a chemist while being in possession of a Molotov cocktail. Actor Jamie Waylett caught on camera carrying bomb, but says he was not going to use it. Good one, Jamie. Anyway, he got 2 years in jail for his efforts, but eventually got released and now seems to be enjoying making appearances at conventions.
Ha! Another Weasley. I know just what to do with you. Gryffindor!
So the Sorting Hat is voiced by the one and only Leslie Phillips, who I'm sure my older British viewers will be familiar with. Phillips was known for his upper-class comedic roles in shows and films like the Carry On and Doctor in the House series. You might recognise him for his notorious hello and ding dong catchphrases.
Hello, chaps.
Mr. Bell?
Ding dong, you're not wrong.
This way, please.
Phillips then went on to appear in a billion different things. He was nominated for a Best Supporting Actor BAFTA in the 2006 comedy drama Venus.
If I don't get anything, I'll write my memoirs.
That shouldn't take long.
He made a brief appearance in the Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider film.
I can't help you, Laura. This clock, it truly is mystery.
But modern British audiences might know him for some of his voice work, such as in the PAL version of the PS1 game Gex. In the American version, he was played by Dana Gould.
For 2 years, I started my day watching supermarkets sweep. Days, then weeks, blurred into one long, sorry afternoon chat show.
Also, this advert might ring a bell for my fellow Brits.
I'm more than just a cat. I am an I-am's cat.
Yep, that's the Sorting Hat himself advertising cat food. I think I found a character Crookshanks might take a liking to.
Susan Bones.
So Susan here is played by Eleanor Columbus. Yeah, Columbus. She's the daughter of the film's director, Chris Columbus. Here she is making another cameo with her father in one of Columbus's earlier films, Home Alone 2.
Shake his hand.
Oh, well, now, thank you, and Merry Christmas.
And if you're wondering why Eleanor didn't get any lines, it's likely because she is American. And a random American accent amongst a sea of British ones would have been a bit weird. Nowadays, Eleanor continues to collaborate with her dad, but now as a producer for films like 2015's The Witch and 2019's The Lighthouse. Columbus also has other children that make cameos in the first 2 movies. In The Philosopher's Stone, his other daughter, Violet, makes an appearance in one of the moving portraits, as this girl holding some flowers.
I'm half and half. My dad's a muggle. Mum's a witch.
Seamus Finnegan is played by Irish actor Devon Murray. Murray had a couple of roles before Potter. Here he is acting alongside Robert Carlyle in the 1999 drama Angela's Ashes.
You drank the money.
So they've no respect for their father now, eh?
Murray, though, hasn't had the best of times after Harry Potter. He apparently suffered from depression while filming, and then being sued by his own agent for an alleged non-payment of commission fees probably didn't help matters. But, you know, he looks surprisingly chipper there, considering that court battle cost him a cool €256,000. But he seems to be on his feet now though, posting regularly on Instagram about his love of horse riding, and in 2021, his girlfriend gave birth to a baby boy called Cooper. I wish them well.
Hello! How are you? Welcome to Gryffindor.
Another British legend whose work I am going to gloss over to all hell has arrived. Sir Nicholas is played by the one and only John Cleese. Cleese is of course best known for his work with Monty Python in their sketch show Flying Circus and their 3 subsequent Monty Python films.
Hail, Messiah! I'm not the Messiah! I say you are, Lord, and I should know. I followed a few.
Cleese then went on to appear in so many TV series. I found out he made an appearance on The Muppet Show.
I only work with the frog. That's you, right?
Check.
The bear and the ugly, disgusting little one who catches cannonballs.
But his most famous small screen role was 100% that of Basil Fawlty in the British sitcom Fawlty Towers.
Look, I'm a dead man! Do you realise? Easy! You're dead too, we're all dead! Don't panic! What else is there to do?
Cleese has also appeared in so many more films, like A Fish Called Wanda, Rat Race, 2 of Brosnan's Bond films where he played Q.
You know, you're cleverer than you look.
Still better than looking cleverer than you are. Follow me, please.
And he's done occasional voice acting work as well, in video games like Fable 3 and The Elder Scrolls Online.
You'll find the door to the Undercroft at the water's end.
And in animated features like Shrek 2.
Excuse me, I'm looking for the ugly stepsister. Ah, there you are. Right.
Bloody Baron!
So the brief appearance from the Bloody Baron is brought to you by the late New Zealand actor Terence Baylor. This is him in Roman Polanski's 1971 adaptation of Macbeth.
Awake! Ring the alarm bell! Murder and treason!
But Baylor was best known for his collaborations with the Monty Python crew. So John Cleese also being in this scene can't be a coincidence. You might know Baylor for the character of Leggy Mountbatten in the 1978 mockumentary All You Need Is Cash, which was directed by Eric Idle. But you might recognise Baylor more for his role in Life of Brian.
I'm Brian and so's my wife!
British actor Simon Fisher-Becker plays the Fat Friar. This dude's been in a few British TV series, but is probably best known for Doctor Who, playing the character of Dorian Moldavar during Matt Smith's run.
So many secrets, Doctor. I'll help you keep them, of course.
Well, you're not exactly going anywhere, are you?
But you're a fool, nonetheless.
Password.
So prior to Dawn French getting the role, the fat lady in The Philosopher's Stone was played by the late Elizabeth Spriggs, who was a prominent stage actress with the Royal Shakespeare Company and had many film and TV roles. Here she is in an episode of Tales from the Crypt.
I was really very surprised. But you were so right, Sharon. In matters of murder, you never know the ending until you get there.
But her most famous role was in 1995's Sense and Sensibility, for which she picked up a BAFTA nominee for her performance.
Besotted. An excellent match. But he's rich and she's handsome.
Boys' dormitories upstairs and down to your left. Girls, the same on your right.
New Zealand-born British actor Chris Rankin plays Percy Weasley. Now, after Potter, Rankin went on to work as a production coordinator on shows like Downton Abbey, but he's done occasional acting work too. Here he is in one of Tom Scar's early YouTube videos, in a sketch called Lifehack. And he's an avid pantomime performer. In 2018, he played the Scarecrow in a stage production of The Wizard of Oz, which he did in my home city of Bradford. And during the pandemic, he starred in an interactive live show of Cinderella, where he played the fairy godfather.
Meet Prince Charming, and meet Cinderella's ugly stepsisters. Ugh, what horrible, nasty ladies they are.
I can teach you how to bewitch the mind and ensnare the senses.
Oh boy, where do I begin with this one? Snape is of course played by the legendary Alan Rickman. Now Rickman was a prominent Shakespearean actor in his early days, making his on-screen debut as Tybalt in a BBC production of Romeo and Juliet. Just look how young he looks.
I hate the word, as I hate hell, all Montagues, and thee.
And of course, you'll know Rickman for films like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Love Actually, Sweeney Todd, Galaxy Quest, and in 1996, he won an Emmy for his role as the infamous monk Rasputin.
The disease will leave him, the Holy Mother promised, but only if you believe in her mercy. Cherish her name, don't you see? God has sent me.
Also, did you know that Rickman tried his hand at directing? Twice, actually. Such as the 2014 period drama A Little Chaos, which he also starred in.
We may be building with stone, but I can tell you it's a feather compared to the weight of the state.
But I can't mention Rickman without talking about Die Hard!
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
And I have a fun connection to share. You see, Hans Gruber's brother in the films, Simon, is played by Jeremy Irons. And Irons also happened to play Professor Snape at one point, in this French and Saunders parody of the first two movies.
Slow blink. God, I'm gorgeous.
It's like peering into some weird alternate reality, isn't it?
Hey, look, Neville's got a remember-all.
British-Brazilian actor Alfred Enoch plays Dean Thomas. Now, Alfred has continued acting and he's doing very well for himself. He's taken a liking to the stage, acting recently in a Globe Theatre production of Romeo and Juliet, where he plays Romeo, and here he is acting alongside a fellow Alfred Molina, in the John Logan play Red.
I didn't mean red paint only. I meant the emotion of red at sunrise.
Sunrise isn't red.
Yes, it is.
I'm telling you it's not.
Sunrise is red and red is sunrise.
But his most famous role was undoubtedly that of Wes Gibbons in the ABC legal drama How to Get Away with Murder.
I'm not usually a first row kind of guy, but I promised myself I wouldn't hide in the back of the class.
I'm engaged.
Oh? Oh, no, I wasn't hitting on...
Seats are assigned. There's a chart over there.
Welcome to your first flying lesson. Well, what are you waiting for? Everyone step up to the left side of their broomstick.
Another Shakespearean star, seriously take a shot every time I say that, Madame Hooch is played by British-American actress Zoe Wanamaker, a 9-time Olivier Award nominee, with several film and television roles under her belt, such as her role in the British sitcom My Family.
What? Oh, it's nothing. It's just normally when you go out on a date, your outfit's so tight we can see your kidneys.
And she's appeared in a whole amalgamation of other things, from films and shows like Mr. Selfridge and My Week with Marilyn, to video games like Fable 2.
Your enthusiasm will have its uses, but mind it does not consume you.
And I don't know a thing about Doctor Who, but apparently this thing was voiced by her.
When I was a little boy, down there, Mummy and Daddy had a house built into the side of the Los Angeles crevasse.
Yeah, I'm as weirded out as the next guy. Doctor Who fans, can you please explain that one in the comments to me?
It's Filch's cat! Ron!
I think YouTube videos are automatically more popular when there's a cat in them, so let's talk about Mrs. Norris, who got played by several different cats of the Maine Coon breed. There was a cat called Maximus, who was trained to run alongside Finch and jump onto his shoulders, and another one called Alanis, whose job was to be held in Finch's arms without squirming. Apparently this cat was so good at its job, he'd fall asleep in Bradley's arms during shoots. Can I get an aw?
Aww. Anyone here, my sweet?
I'm sure many of you will recognise this face. Filch is played by English actor David Bradley, yet another Shakespearean actor with an Olivier Award win in 1991 for his role in King Lear. But Bradley made his on-screen debut back in 1971 as a policeman in the British sitcom Nearest and Dearest.
Oh, we're only going to show me folding cross buttock.
Yes, well, come along to the station and we'll get the police surgeon to have a look at it, all right?
But you'll all recognise Bradley more for his roles in things like Doctor Who, and of course, Game of Thrones.
You see that? 15 she is. A little flower. And the honey's all mine.
And he's done some voice roles too, such as in Guillermo del Toro's Tales of Arcadia series, where he plays Merlin.
Well, books don't talk, for one thing. This was the true battle of Killerhead.
Yeah, pretty ironic that a magically starved squib would go on to play the greatest wizard of all time.
What was that?
Bludger. Nasty little buggers.
So Gryffindor's Quidditch captain and keeper, Oliver Wood, is played by Scottish actor Sean Biggerstaff. Now Sean here had acted before Potter. In 1997, he was cast in the film The Winter Guest, which happens to be the other film that Alan Rickman directed. In the movie, there's a scene where the young Biggerstaff is tricked into rubbing some deep heat over his genitals. Now, I will spare you the image of that, but I will show you his post-deed reaction. And Oliver Wood never got wood again. The end.
Fuck, Mummy, Daddy, Mummy.
Then after Potter, Biggerstaff split his work between films, TV and stage. He starred in films like 2006's Cashback, 2013's Mary Queen of Scots. He won a Scottish BAFTA for his role in the made-for-TV film Consenting Adults. And more recently, he starred in the British comedy film Whiskey Galore.
One point did strike me, sir. As this is only a little island, and this the only road around it, in theory, all Hitler would need to do would be to turn around at this barricade and approach from the other side.
Yes, I was wondering when you were going to notice that.
Hello and welcome to Hogwarts' first Quidditch game of the season. Today's game, Slytherin versus Gryffindor.
So the Quidditch commentator Lee Jordan is played by English actor Luke Youngblood. Now, music seems to be Luke's calling, for he was actually the very first person in the London West End to play the young Simba in the Lion King stage musical.
Oh, I just can't wait.
And he went on to act in lots of well-known TV series, like the British kids show The Story of Tracy Beaker.
I'm Ben Battenbooth.
Tracy Beaker.
And the actress that plays Tracy Beaker in that show, Dani Harmer, also appears in The Philosopher's Stone. This is her behind Oliver Wood in one of the Great Hall scenes. Now, American audiences might know Youngblood from the hit comedy Community, playing the character Magnitude.
Who's Magnitude?
Yo, pop, pop.
But I'll leave you with Luke getting his musical fix on again in the fantasy comedy series Gallivant.
And we'll stand proud and tall till they come to kill us all. Then we'll beg and plead and soil ourselves as one by one we fall.
Okay, so I'm not going to cover every Quidditch player here. Just going to mention 3 that were played by actors who have other roles you might have heard of. Let's begin with Danielle Tabor, who plays one of the Gryffindor chasers, Angelina Johnson. Tabor went on to make appearances in a bunch of British shows. For example, here she is in The Bill.
Fiona Fleming.
Any relation to Michael Fleming?
I'm his sister.
But younger audiences might know her for her collaborations with YouTuber Dan TDM.
4 points.
So it's
no
a
one's
draw.
a loser.
No one's a loser. Everyone's a winner.
Yeah.
Give me that!
So this is one of my personal favourite connections in this video that I never expected to discover. The Slytherin captain, Marcus Flint, is played by Jamie Yeats, who 6 years prior to Harry Potter starred in a Mr. Bean episode. You might remember this. He was the kid who Bean unsuccessfully gave a haircut to.
Yeah, great.
And this is Jamie all grown up, who according to some sources I found is now working as a model, but I can't confirm that. And the last of the Quidditch players I want to mention is the Slytherin Seeker, who is played by Will Theakston. And I gotta write this wrong, because the credits mistakenly say he played Marcus Flint. He doesn't. He actually plays a guy called Terence Higgs. Anyway, Theakston did a couple of other roles outside Potter. Here he is in the CBBC drama, The Ghost Hunter.
Oh yeah, you can talk. Every time my sister's in the area, he lights up, miss, like a Christmas tree.
And this is him in a series called Sir Gadabout, the worst knight in the land.
Be bold, be brave, be fast.
You know, this kids show came out in 2002. You know what else came out in 2002? You find some weird coincidences making these videos. Anyway, back to Theakston. Did he do anything of note after Potter? Yeah. He went on to join the army, serving 2 tours in Afghanistan. Lot of good that did. But in 2018, he, along with 4 of his mates, successfully crossed the 3,000-mile stretch of the Atlantic Ocean. 1,000 points to Slytherin. Now, before I go on, I want to take the time to talk about 4 different Hogwarts student extras that were played by people who later went on to become quite well known themselves. Firstly, there's YouTuber Zoe Sugg. She plays a Hufflepuff student in Snape's potions class. I believe this is her sat behind Ron.
The guy who plays Dean Thomas asked if I fancied Devon, to which I replied, no, I don't. Then he said, would you go out with him? To which I nervously played with my quill and said, no. He then turned to Devon and said, it's a hard life, Seamus. I kind of wanted to die.
And American audiences might recognise this girl. This is a young Julianne Hough, known as being one of the professional dancers on Dancing with the Stars. And her brother, Derek Hough, another professional dancer on the show, shows up behind Hermione as she sets off home for Christmas. And get this, a bloody 3rd future Dancing with the Stars professional dancer somehow also happened to get cast as a Hogwarts student. That being Mark Ballas, who you can just about see here.
Mum?
So let's take a look at the actors who play Harry's parents. Lily is portrayed by Irish actress Geraldine Somerville. She's appeared in films like 2011's My Week with Marilyn and 2014's Grace of Monaco.
Family is all that matters. We're children.
And remember that TV show called Cracker I talked about with Hagrid actor Robbie Coltrane? Well, Somerville was in that too, where she picked up a BAFTA nominee for Best Actress.
I had a gun in his mouth. I couldn't pull the trigger. But that was okay because he didn't know that. I was still the one in control.
Dad?
And James is played by English actor Adrian Rawlins, who's been in loads of shows, recently starring in HBO's Chernobyl.
This little problem we have with the safety test, if it's completed successfully, yes, I think promotion's very likely.
But the far more interesting thing about Rawlins is this weird as hell coincidence. You see, in 1989, Rawlins portrayed the main character, Arthur, in an adaptation of the 1983 book, The Woman in Black.
When he screams for his mother, who's he screaming for?
Now, I'm sure Harry Potter fans have worked out the weird coincidence already here, because Daniel Radcliffe, Rawlins' on-screen son, went on to portray that very same character in a 2012 adaptation. Whether Radcliffe knew this going in, I don't know. Perhaps it was destiny.
Okay, then I get Fang.
Fine. Just so you know, he's a bloody coward.
So Fang was played by 9 different dogs over the films, with the main one being the Neapolitan Mastiff, Hugo. Hugo made an appearance on the daytime talk show This Morning back in 2003, where he apparently spat into the mouth of presenter Fern Britton. Sounds funny and I wanted to show you the footage, but I have not been able to find it. Another dog that played Fang was called Bella, and according to Daniel Radcliffe, when filming the scene with Aragog in the next movie, Bella would jump in front of the Aragog animatronic to protect Daniel and Rupert. We don't deserve dogs. So you'd think the guy drinking the unicorn blood would be Quirrell actor Ian Hart, right? Well, it's apparently not. I believe this is stuntman Theo Kipri, who was a prominent trampoliner, becoming the 1994 men's British champion. He then went on to do a lot of stunt work, doubling for actors like Antonio Banderas and Johnny Depp.
Drinking the blood of a unicorn will keep you alive even if you are an inch from death.
British actor Ray Fearon provides the voice of Firenze. Now, Fiona's a very diverse actor, going from performing characters like Mark Antony in Royal Shakespeare productions, to punching the shit out of Bradley Walsh on Coronation Street.
Always a clown, aren't you?
Well, I always was too good an act for you to follow, Sunshine.
And because of the notoriety that got him, it landed him a place on the 2006 series of Strictly Come Dancing. Savon! He's also been in a ton of other stuff, like the comedy series Fleabag, the Jackie Chan movie The Foreigner. Oh, and here's the closest we'll ever get to seeing Hermione and Firenze ever meeting.
Your library makes our small corner of the world feel big.
Bon voyage.
Harry Potter. We meet again.
And last but not least, let's talk about he who must not be named, who, believe it or not, is actually voiced by Ian Hart himself, the same guy that plays Quirrell. Well, if nothing else, it'd make Quirrell one hell of a ventriloquist. But this isn't Hart's face you see on the back here. This face is the result of a lot of prosthetic and VFX work to slap actor Richard Bremer onto the back of Hart's head. Bremer was a prominent stage actor too, but did some movie and TV roles, like here in the Antonio Banderas starring film The 13th Warrior.
I took two at least that could not have lived. They are demons.
So there we go, every actor in the first Harry Potter movie. I'm pleased to report that videos of the future Potter films won't be nearly as long as this video, seeing as how a lot of the series mainstays were there from day one. Now before I go, I just want to give one shout out to an actor who unfortunately got cut from this movie, that being comedian Rik Mayall, who played Peeves in the first movie, but whose scenes got cut from the film's release. I made a whole video about this a few years back, so if you're interested, here's a link. Or if you want to see what Harry Potter would look like if I was in it, here's another link. Hope to see you around on my channel, drop a like, hit subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Peace.